Chapter 13 Rajam and Money Malgudu Days. About the chapter. This chapter is about innocence of youth, the story of three friends and conflict. Jealousy, fear, friendship, and loyalty is clearly depicted in this chapter. Values learned: friendship, loyalty, truthfulness. The river Sarayu was the pride of Malgudu. It was some the last street of the town, chiefly occupied by oilmongers. Its sandbanks were the evening resort of all the people of the town. The usual evening crowd was on the sand. Swami Natan and Mani sat aloof on a river step with their legs dangling in the water. The peepal branches overhanging the river rustled pleasantly. A light breeze played about the boughs and scattered stray leaves on the gliding stream below. Birds filled the air with their cries. Far away, near Nalappa's mango grove, a little downstream, a herd of cattle was crossing the river, and then a country cart drawn by bullocks passed. The cartman humming a low 15 minutes past sunset, and there was a soft red in the west. The water runs very deep here. Yes, why? Said Swami. I am going to bring Rajam here. Banda the river. Mani said Rajam was a fresh arrival in the school. He had sauntered into the class on the reopening day of the second term, walked up to the last bench, sat beside Mani, and felt very comfortable indeed till Mani gave him a jab in the ribs, which he returned. He had impressed the whole class on the very first day. He was a newcomer. He dressed very well. He was the only boy in the class who wore socks and shoes. Good student too. There were vague rumors very good English. Exactly. If Mani jabbed, Rajam jabbed. If Mani clouted, he clouted. If Mani kicked, he kicked. If Mani was the overlord of the class, Rajam seemed to be nothing less. And add to all this fact that Rajam was a regular 70%er, second only to Shankar. There were sure indications that Rajam was a new power in the class. As Mani looked on, it was becoming increasingly clear that a new menace had appeared behind his decision on the river step to bundle up Rajam and throw him into the river. Swami Natan expressed a slight fear. You forget that his father is the police superintendent? Mani remained silent for a while and said, What do I care? Some night I am going to crack his shoulder with my club. If I were you, I would keep out of the way of policemen. They are an awful lot, said Swami Natan. If you were me, but thank God I am not you, a milk-toothed coward like you. Swami Natan bit his lips and sighed. And that reminds me, said the other. You are in need of a little warning. I find you hanging about that Rajam a bit too much. Well, have a care for your limbs. That is all I can say. Swami Natan broke into loud protestations. Did Mani think that Swami Natan could respect anyone but him? Mani, the dear old friend and guide. Swami Natan was to act as a cord of communication between Rajam and Mani. They were sitting on the last bench with their backs against the yellow wall. Swami Natan sat between Rajam and Mani. Their books were before them on the desk, but their minds were busy. Mani wrote on a piece of paper, Are you a man? And gave it to Swami Natan, who pushed it across to Rajam, putting on an offensive look as possible. Rajam read it, crumpled it, and threw it away, at which Mani wrote another note repeating the question, with the addition, You are the son of dog. If you don't answer this, and pushed it across. Rajam hissed into Swami Natan's face. "You scoundrel! Don't disturb me," and crumpled the letter up. Further progress was stopped. "Swami Natan, stand up," said the teacher. Swami Natan stood up faithfully. "What is Lisbon famous for?" asked the teacher. Swami Natan hesitated and ventured, "For being the capital of Spain." The teacher bit his mustache and fired a second question. "What do you know about the Indian climate?" "It is hot in summer and cold in winter." "Stand up on the bench," roared the teacher, and Swami Natan stood up without a protest. He was glad that he was given this supposedly degrading punishment instead of the cane. Swami Natan paid no attention to the rest of the lesson. His mind began to wander. Standing on the bench, he stood well over the whole class. He could see so many heads and he classified them according to the caps. When the work for the day was over, Swami Natan, Mani and Rajam adjourned to a secluded spot to say what was in their minds. Swami Natan stood between them and acted as a medium of communication. They were so close that they could have heard each other even if they had spoken in whispers. But it was a matter of form between enemies to communicate through a medium. Mani faced Swami Natan straightly and asked, "Are you a man?" Swami Natan turned to Rajam and repeated, "Are you a man?" Rajam flared up and shouted, "Which dog doubts it?" Swami Natan turned to Mani and said ferociously, "Which dirty dog doubts it?" "Have you the courage to prove that you are a man?" asked Mani. Swami Natan turned to Rajam and repeated it. "How?" "How?" repeated Swami Natan to Mani. "Meet me at the river near Nalappa's grove tomorrow evening." Near Nalappa's grove, Swami Natan was pleased to echo. "What for?" asked Rajam. "To see if you break my head." "Oh, to pieces," said Rajam. Swami Nathan's services were dispensed with. They gave him no time to repeat their words. "The river tomorrow," said Swami Natan. "Yes," Rajam assured them. "To you, will you promise to keep it out of your father's knowledge?" Rajam promised, after repudiating the very suggestion that he might act otherwise. Nalappa's grove stood a few yards before them. It was past 6 and the traffic for the day between the banks was over. The usual evening crowd was far behind them. Swami Natan and Mani were squatting on the sand. They were silent. Mani was staring at the ground with a small wooden club under his arm. He was thinking he was going to break Rajam's head in a short while and throw his body into the river. But if it should be recovered? But then how could they know that he had done it? But if Rajam should conk and trouble him at night as a spirit? Since his grandfather's death, he was sleeping alone. What if Rajam should come and pull his hair at night? It would be better not to kill him after all. He would content himself with breaking his limbs and leaving him to his fate. If he should batter his head, who's going to find it out? Unless, of course, he cast a sly look at Swami Natan, who was blinking innocently. Unless, of course, Swami Natan informed the police. At the sound of the creaking of boots, they turned and found that Rajam had come. He was dressed in khaki and carried under his arm an air gun that was given to him a couple of months ago on his birthday. He stood very stiff and sad. "Here I am, ready." "You are late." "Yes, we will start." Rajam shouldered his gun and fired a shot in the air. Mani was startled. He stood still, his club down. "You hear the shot?" asked Rajam. "The next is going to be into your body, if you are keen upon a fight. But this is unfair. I have no gun while you have. It was to be a hand-to-hand fight. Then why have you brought your club? You never said anything about it yesterday." Mani hung down his head. "What have I done to offend you?" asked Rajam. "You called me a sneak before someone. That is a lie." There was an awkward pause. "If this is all the cause of your anger, forget it. I won't mind being friends." "Nor I," said Mani. Swami Natan gasped with astonishment in spite of his posing before money. He admired Rajam intensely and longed to be his friend. Now this was his happiest conclusion to all the unwanted trouble. He danced with joy. Rajam lowered his gun and Mani dropped his club. To show his goodwill, Rajam pulled out of his pocket half a dozen biscuits. The river smile trembled, the rustling of the people leaves, the half light of the late evening, and the three friends